Hi, my name is Kristen Cobbs, and I took EDM 310 at the University of South Alabama in spring 2012. When I initially enrolled in EDM 310, I had never heard anything about this class, and I did not know what to expect. Needless to say, I was surprised on the first day of class. It took me a while to get used to the checklist and not having anyone to remind me of when our assignments were due. Now that the semester is over, I have to say that I'm grateful that I had to rely on myself to make sure my assignments were in on time. EDM 310 has taught me how to take initiative and become a true self-learner. Before taking EDM 310, I thought I knew how to work a computer pretty well. However, I quickly realized that I only knew the basics of how to use a computer. I did not know how to create or use a blog. I did not know how to use Twitter, and I definitely did not know how to add alt modifiers to images within my blog. Now, after taking EDM 310, I can say that I'm still not a computer expert, but I do know more than just the basics of how to use a computer. I have learned so much in this class this semester. First off, I've learned how to create a blog and how to use it. I also learned how to tweet on Twitter, which I never thought I would do. I learned how to make a Google presentation, and I learned how to use Google Docs. I also learned how to use Skype, which is really neat, and I learned how to make and use a personal learning network. I also learned how to use a Mac computer, which I had no prior experience using before this class. I learned how to spice up my blog by adding links, images, and videos. And my favorite thing I learned in this class was how to use a smartboard and how to make a lesson plan on a smartboard. I've also learned how to be a self-motivated learner. Since we did not meet regularly for EDM 310, I did not have a teacher to remind me that our blog posts or our projects were due. As I mentioned before, I had to rely on myself to keep track of when assignments were due. I'm very grateful that this method was used in EDM 310 because I feel it will help me throughout my career. When I become an educator, I'm not going to have someone reminding me of when my work has to be finished. I also became a self-motivated learner because often throughout the semester, Dr. Strange encouraged us to look up things on our own. He would give us an assignment but also give us additional resources to further research into a website or a person of interest. I was surprised to learn how much technology is being used in elementary schools today. Before taking EDM 310, I knew that computers were being used, but I thought that there was maybe one computer per classroom. I had no idea how many computers were available for students to use. And I was shocked to find out that elementary students were blogging, especially because I had no idea how to blog prior to this class. EDM 310 really opened my eyes to how many possibilities there are for teachers who use technology. Something that really stuck out to me was in an assigned video we had to watch about Miss Cassidy's first grade classroom. In the video, it showed the students learning about rocks and Skyping with a professional geologist at the same time. This allowed the students to ask any questions that they wanted about the rocks that they were learning about. I thought that this was amazing, and I would have loved to have something like that when I was in elementary school. The most important thing I learned in this class was how to think outside of the box and how to be more creative. Before this class, I was so used to doing assignments that only required me to memorize what was going to be on the test. However, in this class, there were no tests, and the assignments were asking for my personal opinion, and they really required me to think about the assignment and what my answer would be. Although EDM 310 takes a lot of time and requires a lot of work each week, I'm extremely proud that I stuck with it, and I'm very glad that I took EDM 310.